So I'm here with my lovely co-hosts, Adam, Roxas, and Zelda. They're all just like, I want to be inside, Grandpa. It is freaking cold out. We're expecting some snow within the next couple days. I don't know if it's gonna happen. You know, around here we don't get a whole lot of snow even when it's very, very cold out. I remember there were a few times there it was about 22 degrees and we still got no snow. It was more than proper time for snow, but we never got any. This reminds me of a winter day I spent with my good friend Orville. No, anyway, yeah, it's cold out. But now the good stuff. Former Concord players, all 694 of them, I think. Former Concord players not happy with Marvel Rivals success. Why did Concord have to die and Marvel Rivals gets to live? Because one was a good game and one wasn't. One got pulled from shelves and online 2 weeks after release. One had less than 700 players, while the other has well in the hundreds of thousands. I mean, that might have something to do with it. Concord died so that Marvel could live. A number of alleged former Concord. Okay, let me just scroll down here real fast. 697. That's how many people played the game. 697. As opposed to Marvel Rivals. And this is current because you got January 7th right here. And it's currently January 7th. So, yeah, people are still playing this game. So, yeah, I'm sure those 697 people are devastated. A number of alleged former Concord players are not happy with the success of Marvel Rivals. As originally discovered by YouTuber Hero Hey on the Concord Games subreddit, a question was asked whether or not Concord fans have tried Marvel Rivals and what their first impressions were. How long is Heroes?
As you may know.
No, it's 10 minutes. The top ranked responses currently reads, it plays nothing like Concord. I personally don't like the movement or shooting at all, and I don't like all the hype and praise it's getting. If you want similar gameplay to Concord, Destiny 2 is your best bet, but PvP in that game is basically unplayable, unfortunately, but the PvE is still good. Another replied, I feel like the majority of the hype praise it's getting is just because it's one of the first good online Marvel games to come out in this period of MCU box office domination, which is waning. And a lot of people who are unhappy with Overwatch. Yeah, I mean, Overwatch, the first Overwatch, still, peak and all that. But then there are a lot of people who are like, Overwatch 2 is just kind of the same thing, just like different characters. So I heard a lot of people say that Overwatch 2 really left a lot to be desired. They're like, well, Overwatch is still better. So it's like, if I'm gonna play it, I'm just gonna play regular Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch trying to signal boost a competitor. The game itself feels pretty damn unpolished and unbalanced compared to OW and even Concord. Well, they're just a bunch of haters. They're just a bunch of phobes and isms because there are a lot of strong females and black characters in the game, and if they don't like the game, well, they're just a bunch of phobes and isms. They're criticizing it. What do they hate? Strong women, or they hate black people? Desford then explained why Concord likely would have failed even if it was free to play. Oh yeah, that was another thing. $30, I think, to play the game. $30 to buy it. $30. That was another. It was basically all shooters like that are like Overwatch, stuff like that. They're usually free to play. But this game was $30. This was a game that I think was in development for like 8 years. It had about, what was it, like $800 million poured into it. It had like this entire universe ready, you know, other games or stories, and the same thing with Unknown Nine Awakening. It was the same thing with that. That game failed. They had a books planned, they had movie planned, they had a TV show planned. Not gonna happen now because of how terrible it did. But Concord at least got its secret level episode, which I watched the trailer for on here. But yeah, they were expecting it to do like amazing numbers and start this whole new universe, and then kind of like with Overwatch, how Overwatch, you got the game, but then you have like this huge amount of lore in game for each character and these backstories and overarching story and stuff like that. That's what they wanted, but no, it didn't happen. So, uh, yeah, failed to, even if it was free to play. Yeah, let's just say that it was free to play. Now tell me the difference on how, wait, the difference, how much longer it would last. Even games on free beta hit 2K and keep drop players already on that time. Did basically present the same did present the same issues from beta, and did die and it did died a few weeks later. It did died. Did it died? Did it died? And then it woke up dead. How do you wake up dead? Because you're alive when you go to sleep. Doesn't make a single difference. Difference paint a ship with other color. If you don't fix the holes, it will sink anyway. Again, Marvel Rivals has its own factor. Did understood well what made Overwatch 1 successful. Notice they say Overwatch 1, not Overwatch 2, because there are people not liking Overwatch 2. I'm sure, obviously, there are people playing it, but people are just saying it's not nearly as good as the first Overwatch. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm simply saying what people have said, what I've seen online, what all that. People just said Overwatch 2 is just not nearly as good. Create at least a interesting mechanic for, say, it's different, knows what a multiplayer needs and why it succeeds, not because of the price tag, which is why many didn't had and many fail. Many didn't had and many fail. Seriously, people, stop thinking free to play is the answer for everything. It just shows how clueless you guys are. Nevertheless, Concord fans rolled out the cope. On one individual posted, Concord failed not because of its design, gameplay. Of course, there it is. Not because of its design, gameplay, price, or quality as a game, but because it became a target of in a culture war. No, I'm pretty sure that the game that took like almost a decade to make and $800 million to make, with the terrible game character design, the gameplay that was terrible. I'm pretty sure that the $30 price tag, pretty sure that's what caused it to fail. Was it a culture war? Stop using this as a scapegoat because you aren't smart enough to think of anything else. It was just a bad game. Why can people just not accept that bad games are a thing in 2024? It was a bad game. Uh, from the moment it was announced, discussions about the game were dominated by negativity. Critics labeled it dead on arrival. Well, it pretty much was dead on arrival. It only took about 2 weeks before they pulled it completely from stores, online. The servers went down, and Firewalk Studios and the other ones, I think, went out of business. So I'd say the people were kind of right. And not only was it dead on arrival, it cost a lot of people their jobs. We don't blame the people who went in there and just tried to make a good game. We blame the people who were like, no, well, we need more of this. Hey guys, you want to know what would be a great idea? Let's charge them $30 for this game. Critics labeled it as dead on arrival, woke, or trash before they were even beta or gameplay footage. This constant negativity overshadowed the game itself. They act like people can't think on their own, though. You know, you see it on Twitter. It's like, oh, how do you know it's in? How do you know it's shit? You haven't played it yet. Clearly, it's like people like me. It's like nobody's like me. I don't have an influence over anyone. So if what I say, it's like, who cares? I'm some fat nobody on the internet. Who cares what I say? You know, make your own judgment. I'm just when people talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, the game's. They're not saying don't play it. They're just saying it's like, yeah, it's probably dead on arrival. No one's gonna play it. They're not saying don't play it. It's just saying no one's gonna play it. And sure enough, 2 weeks after the game came out, it was shut down. So were the people wrong? Despite being fun for those who actually played it, all 697 of them, a few people gave it a fair chance. The backlash was so intense that even liking the game invited ridicule. In the end, it didn't even matter. More people criticized Concord than actually experienced it, which made it impossible for the game to succeed. No. It was just a bad game. Again, that kind of game that doesn't bring anything new to the table, that doesn't separate itself from every other game of that type, charging you $30 damn to play, a roster of characters that are just uninspired. But yeah, blame the people talking about it. Don't continue, just don't blame the company at all. The companies are always the victims here. Don't blame the company for creating a terrible game. Blame the gamers, because that has apparently worked so far. Every single time people start complaining about the gamers, what happens to the games? No one plays them. And then, of course, when the game fails, what happens? You blame the gamers some more. How about blaming the companies? Stop sucking these fucking companies' cocks and just admit they made a bad game. Fucking Christ. Fucking Christ. How hard is it? Leave big company alone. It's all because of the mean weenie gamers. Oh, shut the fuck up. In a follow-up, the user added, there was no chance for hype or little there's like nothing. There was nothing to get you hyped for this. There was no real marketing. It was just like, hey guys, here's a game you might like. Oh, by the way, you gotta pay $30 to play it. Content created around there was negative, and at a time when the word of mouth and influencer endorsements are key, the negativity had a huge impact on its failure. Edit. Most of the content about Concord is rooted in culture war topics. The user continued, the fact that most of the conversation about Concord shifted to culture war is far more a reflection of discourse surrounding it than the game itself. Gameplay can only be fully understood by trying it. Sure, but that doesn't mean it didn't have potential. If it had potential, it would have had that potential from the beginning. If you're going to pay $30 for a game, you want that potential to be there already. We're not going to guru here when having our potential unlocked at some later date. We expect the potential to be there from the start. If you're going to pay $30 for this game, you want the best product possible. Not like, oh, we're sorry it's subpar, but the best is yet to come. You just got to wait another three months or so before until we release an update. It'll make the game You really think people are going to have the patience for that shit? Again, stop blaming the gamer. Blame the company for creating a subpar product. How hard is this? Many games with innovative mechanics have had slow starts or been misunderstood initially, but it didn't have any innovative mechanics. It was just basically like Overwatch. Overwatch was already around for much longer than this game, so why play this game when you could just play Overwatch? There's nothing new in this game that would separate it from everything else. But of course, blame the gamers. Because we're the ones creating the games that are subpar and not, not innovative at all. Yeah, we're the ones doing that. As for mystery and innovation, Concord was trying to do something different with its setting and characters, but it never got the chance to show what it could truly be, could truly bring to the table. The negativity and noise drowned out by the meaningful discussions before it. People even gave it a shot. It's easy to dismiss some of the lacking, something as lacking when it wasn't given a fair chance to demonstrate. People tried it, and it failed. Like, that's what's hard to understand about this. 697 people played it, and it wasn't like, where's the thing? There you go. The peak right there, and then just boom. So even those 697 people were like, okay, I'm done. What is so hard to understand about this? It didn't even get 700 players, and the people who did play were like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. So clearly, it's the game itself. It's not innovative. It didn't bring anything new to the table in with a genre that is completely bloated to begin with. They charged you $30 freaking to play the game. So the few people, even they got tired of it because it didn't bring anything new. But no, keep blaming the gamers. Oh, the evil gamers. Oh, pushing people away. Never blame big company. Less than 2 months after the game was shut down, Sony announced it was closing Firewalk Studios. I mean, I don't get what's hard to understand about this. The game was bad. Why can people not just say, you know what? Yeah, the game was bad. The game was bad. But hey, I'm just some fat, ugly, stupid incel living in my parents' basement who doesn't know anything. So, what do I know? What do I know? You know, because why hold companies accountable for making subpar products when you could just keep taking your anger and all that stuff out on people like me? Why hold them accountable? Instead of telling them that they created a bad product and hopefully have them learn and create something better in the future. No. Just keep sucking that cock. Just keep on sucking. I hope it tastes good. I hope they're paying you real well for that. Just keep sucking that cock and just keep attacking the people who are calling the crap out. I'm sure it'll work. I'm sure you'll get plenty of good experiences in gaming in the future. After all, I'm sure Firewalk Studios is already... Oh, wait. But, like I said, what do I know? I'm just some fat incel chud living in a basement. So, you know? Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.